My voice started going at about 2 p.m. today, right? So be gentle with me. But I was chatting to my 5-year-old Riley. I was chatting to my 5-year-old Riley during the break there, and Riley's my mentor, right? So I said, Riley, what would you do if your voice is going? He said, 1, go get a hot drink. So I went across the road and got a cup of tea. And I said, what if you were in school and you couldn't speak in class? What would you do? And he said, just dance. So, so if we get halfway through this, my 3-year-old Harper is my dance instructor. She does ballet at the weekend, so you might see this after about 10 minutes. And I'm the father of 3 kids. The youngest is Arlo, my baby, and my beautiful wife, Cynthia. I'm going to change the pace up here a little bit. I'm not here to talk about what I do in the corporate world. I previously headed up the arm of the Irish government over here for the last 8 years. I run my own consultancy practice at the minute. But the last 3 years I've been on a journey with my best friend Tag Kennelly around men's mental health, and a project that's kicked off since it was supposed to be Tag here today, by the way, but he headed off to Ireland last Thursday, so I'm the step in. But I hope you enjoy. I want to start with a story. I was planning this and I was thinking about it, and I was thinking about the origins of WNOW. I'm a hugger and a crier, by the way, so any of these things could happen. But I've only shared this story with 2 people. Right? I've shared this story with Cynthia, my wife, and I've shared this story with Tag, my best friend. And I'm planning this. I thought, sure, why not share it with 100 people as well, right? I remember this date as if it was yesterday. It was the 29th of December, 2019. That's my mother under my right arm. That's my father-in-law, that's Riley, and my mentor, who was 1 year old at that point, nearly 2. Cynthia is 4 months pregnant with her second child, Harper, and that's my mother-in-law, Lydia. Surrounded by the people I love, right? Absolutely surrounded by the people that mean most to me. But in 2019, I remember it like yesterday, walking up the steps there in Watson's Bay. I was having suicidal thoughts. I was thinking that I'm not good enough for the people that mean the most to me, and it might be better if I'm not around, right? Which I've never said before publicly. But the great thing about having a life-changing moment like that on the 29th of December is that New Year's Eve is 2 days later, and we all reevaluate our lives on New Year's Eve, and we all want to be a new version of us. So I knew the me of 2019 couldn't go into 2020. If I wanted to be the father for the second kid coming, something had to change. And I had to look inside myself to find out what was wrong, what was making me deeply unhappy, and how the hell do I go about changing this? Sorry, I'm Irish too. 2 things, we swear a lot and we speak very fast. So if I swear, I owe $1 to charity. If I speak too fast, just say slow down, right? I promise. But at this point, I really went deep to find out what was making me unhappy, right? Socially, I'm as connected as you would find, I suppose. My job, heading up Irish government, was basically a networking job. I was on the board of the Lansdowne Club, which is, we put on the largest St. Patrick's Day lunch in the world every year, right? So imagine that. I was on the board of an Irish charity at the point. I was a social organizer for my groups of friends. I had more friends, more connections than you can shake a stick at. But the depth of those friendships and relationships was really superficial. I don't think it was fulfilling me enough. A survey or a white paper came out 2 days ago. Sorry, I don't have it. I'm not alone in that. It's a group called Healthy Meal, and they produced a white paper that was shown on ABC saying that men aged 35 to 49 are the loneliest demographic of our population at the minute. We start doing well with kids, we start doing well with careers and so on, and then we lose our friendship circles and become deeply lonely. So I knew that 2019 me had to change. I'm flipping script a little bit. This is my best friend. This is a guy called Tag Kennelly. Tag is famous for playing for Sydney Swans for 20 years. He's famous for Irish dancing on stage. People call us the twins, if you remember the movie, for those that are a bit older. Arnie Schwarzenegger and Danny DeVito. I'm Arnie Schwarzenegger, obviously, he's Danny DeVito. And I tried to get, because it's 17X, Tig wore number 17. So I tried to get a picture of Tig wearing number 17. The only picture I could get of him was him dislocating his shoulder. So it's not the best picture, but that was Tig, my best friend. I was sharing that 2019 going into 2020, so I said I probably need less connections. I need less friends, but I need better connections. I need to care more, and I need to be cared for more. I need to love more, and I need to be loved more. And I started chatting to Tig about this. 2020 was the year we all want to forget, right? But that was Harper. My second born was born on the 17th of May, 2020. So life-changing for me. I sent Tig a picture from this. We were reading a book from where he's from. But on the 20th of May, 2020, Tig gets sacked by Sydney Swans, where he was assistant coach. I was going to play a video, ABC 7:30 did a piece on us, but we'll share it after. Maybe Tig talks about being sacked by Sydney Swans. He didn't leave the house for 6 weeks after that. He went into a really dark, deep space. Identity was everything for Tig, and we have friends of Tig here. He viewed his identity as being Sydney Swans, and he couldn't separate both of them. And then being sacked, that was a real hit to his ego as a man, but he started to question who he is as a person. How can he provide for his family? What's his purpose in life? Is he AFL now, or is he something else? So he didn't leave the house for 6 weeks, and I called him during that, and he was probably in the same position I was in 2019. So we made a commitment to ourselves. That was kind of the birth of WNOW. There's the twins again. That we need to change our structure as friends. To start to look after each other, to care for each other, to love for each other, and to be there for each other. In truth, we wanted to create, we weren't thinking about WNOW at this point, we were just trying to be better friends. We were trying to be what our wives are to each other. We were trying to be that, right? Like Tig and I used to go to the pub on a Friday night to escape our problems and have beers and watch the footy. Whilst Cynthia, my wife, and Nicole, Tig's wife, would catch up together, catch up with their mates, and they would have coffee and chat about life. They would chat about the problems of life. So we started looking at Cyn and Nicole and saying, we need to be more like them and less like us, right? And we genuinely mean that. So that was the birth of WNOW, I suppose. WNOW stands for when no one's watching, because we'd love to live our life like no one was watching. Drop your body armour and not be afraid of judgment of anybody else. So this was day one on the beach in Maroubra, where it was Tig and I. Tig and I historically catch up in pubs at midnight. I'll never let it be said Irish aren't good at strategy, by the way, right? But maybe we're not. Tig and I cannot swim in the ocean. We're better at midnight than 6 a.m. normally. And we started a networking group during COVID, which is all about swimming in the ocean and being there at 6 a.m., right? So we need a better strategist around us, I think. But we did this at 6 a.m. in Maroubra. We did a little bit of exercise, and we started the real conversations with each other about changing career for him. Harper, my second born, during COVID, she was awake every hour for that first year, so that put a lot of stress on my wife and on us. But we just started to connect and really look after each other and care for each other. We went after week one, this is bloody good, you know. We should invite a mate along each next week, so 2 became 4, became 8, became 16. We now have over 500 men across 5 different chapters: Maroubra, Balmoral, Bondi, Coogee, Surfers Paradise. We've a call on Friday to kick off our next 5 chapters, 3 in Melbourne, Geelong, Mentone Beach and Barron Heads, 1 in Byron Bay and 1 in the Southern Shire. So we're growing our... Our target's to help 1 million men be better, right? We want to be better fathers, we want to be better husbands, we want to be better friends, we want to be better colleagues. And I'm not trying to own these problems as being a middle-aged man, right? But it's just it's the butterfly wings that I can help solve. So our program is really simple. We're simple men, we're not complex men, right? So we do 30 minutes exercise on a beach tomorrow morning at 6 a.m. It's always Wednesday at 6 a.m. We do 30 minutes exercise on a beach. We break into our 60 circle. So we switch all music off. get everybody to hold plank position. We do 60 press-ups, so if there's 60 men there, it's one press-up each and it flows around in a circle, because there's 60 men die by suicide every 60 minutes around the world. So we bring that back to our way. And then this is probably the most powerful piece. We do our circle of trust. We were on a podcast 2 weeks ago and I can't get this out of my head now. They said it's like meet the Fockers, isn't it? Or meet the parents. This is the circle, you're outside it, right? But we do our circle of trust. And that's anybody in the group can step forward and celebrate something, ask for help about something, or get something off their chest if they need to get something off their chest. We've the 500 men, we've 32 nationalities covering 6 continents. We're looking for somebody from Antarctica just to take the 7th continent, but covering 6 continents. And you see people coming down in week 1, and a couple of the lads are here. You see people come down in week 1 going, what the hell is going on here? Like, I can't figure this out. But some of the conversations is completely confidential. I'll share 2 stories which they've allowed me to share, but completely confidential, non-judgmental. And you just see men stepping forward and speaking for the first time in a group, speaking about life's issues. We all know what life's issues are, but you can just see the weight come off their shoulders once they speak, because as men we've been told to suck it up and not be vulnerable, and strength is by bottling stuff up and probably having a drink trying to escape your problems. Here they're addressing their problems and being supported by a positive network. Before we jump on the water, and then we hang around for a coffee and a conversation and a connection, and that's the most important bit, because it's all about replacing perhaps negative friendships that we might have of being in a pub and abusing ourselves and ripping the mickey out of each other with positive connections where we're supporting, caring and loving each other. Again, we're simple men, right? So the program we run is really simple. It has to be simple. The why is a little bit different, right? So the stats aren't pretty, right? There's 9 Australians who woke up this morning that won't wake up tomorrow morning. 9 people die by suicide every day in Australia. 9 tomorrow, 9 the day after, and so on. Seven of those are men. 2 of them are female every day. There was 65,000 attempts of suicide last year in Australia alone, right? So the maths are what's that? 180, 190 a day, something like that, right? So me in 2019 did not feel alone. Like, there's 190 cases today, 180 tomorrow, and so on. It's the number 1 killer in middle-aged men is suicide, young and middle-aged men is suicide. So we need to do something different. It's a global problem. There's 1,900 deaths by suicide daily, and there's 38,000 attempts daily of suicide, right? It's easy to measure suicide, right? Because it's obviously a stat. It's an unwelcome stat, but it's a stat. But suicide is a metric, is a sample of mental health or mental ill health as well. So you draw that across depression, anxiety. It's at an all-time high in Australia. The stat said it was an all-time high in Australia last year, and the demographic that's increasing the most by percentage is men from the age of 25 to 55, right? So something needs to change. The effects, I've written down some of the stats here, sorry, because they're stark, right? The effects of social isolation and loneliness, that's how I was feeling in 2019, right? In the last 10 years, social isolation has increased by 24 hours a month. Family social engagements down by 5 hours a month, companionship down by 14 hours a month, and social engagement with friends down by 20 hours a month. So we're uber connected on these things now, but everything's telling us that we're getting less and less connected, and loneliness and social isolation is the biggest cause for suicide. There's the ex-General Surgeon of America, a guy called Dr. Vivek Murthy. Look up his white paper if you can. He did a white paper on social isolation and loneliness. He said, giving it away, right, in the title, but the number 1 killer in America isn't cancer, isn't heart disease. He went around all of America and surveyed people, all this. He said the underlying problems for all of it is loneliness. He said the effects loneliness are having on people, those that are lonely, it's got the same health impacts of smoking a packet of cigarettes a day, of having 6 alcoholic drinks a day. And those that are chronically lonely live 15 years less than those that are socially connected, right? So 15 years is a long time. That's when you get to see your kids become graduate, get to see your grandkids, whatever, right? So we're trying to crack that. I'm sorry, I want to say, when you think of loneliness, when I think of loneliness, I think of my mum back home who's 79 now. I think mum's lonely. But if mum's got a problem, mum nips next door to Betty and has a cup of tea and chats about the problems, right? It said that one in three adults are lonely, but 2 in 3 teenagers are lonely. So with my 3 young kids, if that's getting worse, I want to help solve that problem, right? The impact of WNOW, sorry, I should have put a cursor at the start of this. You'll probably see a lot of men's skin in this that you might not want to see, right? So what the eye sees, the mind doesn't forget, right? That was us in Kosciuszko doing our retreat, not a retreat. But we surveyed our WNOW men. 99% of WNOWers say that WNOWs had a positive impact on their life. 98% have said that it's a stronger sense of community. 96% have said they're a better man because of it. 94% it's improved their physical and mental health. 71% are more connected. 58% are more positive. And it's easy to say yes to positive attributes, I think, but the challenging ones are those that have negative connotations. But 39% says it helped reduce isolation. 27% said it helped reduce anxiety. And the smallest number we had, but the one that hit me the hardest, was 7% have said it's helped make them feel less helpless, right? I don't think anybody should feel helpless, but for 7% to say they feel less helpless was really cool. And 58% of people that we surveyed said if it wasn't for WNOW, they wouldn't be part of another group like this. So take all them good stats and just throw them in the bin. We'd be in a worse off place. So the 2 stories I want to share before I have to wrap 2 minutes is, and they've both said it's okay to share their stories. On your left is Donica Lynch. Donica is a beautiful man, a father of 1, a loving husband. 18, 19 months ago, Donica got diagnosed with stage 4 cancer. Really rare form of cancer. Only 3 people in Australia have it, quite an aggressive form of cancer. I'm absolutely saying that you need to go down the medical route. Donica went through chemo. He's had 2 major operations. But he just went back to Ireland last Thursday and he sent me a voicemail. He got the all clear last Tuesday, right? So we've been on that journey with him, right? It's an emotional journey, but I didn't know anybody could beat stage 4 cancer. He got the all clear last Tuesday for beating stage 4 cancer, and the voicemail said to Tag and I said that he's seen WNOW as a critical part of his journey to beating stage 4 cancer. Social connection and a little bit of exercise. He could go on the beach every week, and no matter how bad he was feeling, he could go and he could share a story with another man about how he was feeling. Our saying is, you don't like the man that gets out of the car in the morning, but you love the man that gets back into the car in the morning. Because at 6 o'clock in the morning, tomorrow morning, nobody wants to network and chat, right? Everybody gets out of the car like a zombie, but by the end of it, they're all bouncing back into the car. So that's really cool about Donica. For Grant is from Nepal. He's only started coming down recently. He saw our piece at ABC. He lost 8 friends during COVID, right, from Nepal. His father's got cancer. His father's just come down to Australia to get treatment, and he's the only son. He's a consultant. He works from home. He's deeply lonely. He saw our piece and he's been travelling from Parramatta down to Maroubra every week. He doesn't take part in the exercise. He just sits at the edge of the group. And then when we get into the water, he gets into the water too. He hangs around for the coffee. He's the last person to leave. And that smile is on his face when he's leaving. So you can see somebody that's deeply lonely just starting to integrate into the community and the benefits that has for them. So, that's the twins again. We just don't want the 2019 me and the 2020 Tag to come back again. This was last year on my birthday, back in Ireland, back in my hometown, with the same people plus 2 others, 2 new kids. That's the happiest. I'm now, the 2023 me has never been happier, has never been more connected. So I want this person to come and that person to stay behind. So take homes, and if I can ask everybody, how will I do this? Right, cool. Close your eyes. Close your Think of a friend think of that friend that means the world to you. Think of that friend, if they weren't around tomorrow, you'd be absolutely kicking yourself that you didn't call them. Think of that friend that you love. Cool, open your eyes. Now, can everybody make a promise to, when you're going home tonight, send that friend a message. Send that friend a message just saying, I love you. We say I love you in WNOW to men all the time. I love you. I'm thinking about you. Can we just catch up for a coffee or a walk? If you're a guy sending it to another guy, within 30 seconds, you'll get a message back saying, are you crazy? Are you drunk or something? That's probably, but the response to that is just, I'm thinking of you. I want to let you know I'm thinking of you. The 2020 tag was in a dark place. It was a phone call that changed it for him, and tag changed it for my life as well. My last ask is, it is a men's group, but I'd say half the people we get down to the group now have been told by their wives, by their partners, by their mothers, you need to connect with the group, go down and join this group. So if you're a man in the room, you're welcome to the beach in Maroubra, Coogee, Bondi, Balmoral, or if you're ever up in Surfers Paradise at 6 a.m. tomorrow. And everybody else, you've that workmate, you've that husband, you've that son that you want to come down. We want to start chapters off everywhere else. There's more men's sheds in Australia than McDonald's. I love that fact. And men's sheds, we do what men's sheds do. Men's sheds is 65 and above. We're 65 and below. We want more WNOWs than McDonald's in Australia as well. So if you want to start a new chapter, it's completely free for everybody to come to, by the way. If you want to start a new chapter, absolutely reach out and we'll help you start a new chapter as well. And ultimately, drop your body armor, be your authentic self. You're good enough. And we all have a critical role to play in this. Thank you.